What's going on YouTube? Hood Monk here. I just came across this story and I'm shocked to discover that there's quite a few stories like this out there. There's a man here, a Colorado man, who is, you can read it yourself. Man forced to pay child support despite DNA test results. Now, I was blown away by this, and what led me here was this story here. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Here, there's another story of a Texas man ordered to pay 65 G's for child support for a kid that isn't his. Okay, so this seems to be a reoccurring thing here, and I guess. I'm doing some research here that there are a lot of laws in the state where, in many states, where they can jump through this loophole. It's corrupt, it's malfeasance, and it's a loophole they can jump through to just make any man that's been picked by the mother as the father. She can just put any man's name on the birth certificate, and all she has to do is, I guess, go after the guy. So, like, okay, she names a guy, and of course she has to jot down an address for the individual she's named. But if she puts down like a phony address or whatever, and the papers never gets to this person where they can answer the chart, or because they're being called to court, they're being called into paternity court. So if they never get the paperwork, or they're ignorant of it, it doesn't matter. Okay, so they've got so long to contest it. In some states, if you don't contest it within 6 months, bam, you're automatically the father, no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you didn't know about it, or she sent it to the wrong address, which a lot of these scandalous women do. I'm a little dumbfounded. I'm stunned by this, and I have to ask, why, as men, do we allow this to happen? I'm speechless. Let me read this here. A Texas man is battling in court. A Texas man is battling a court order that mandates he must pay tens of thousands in child support for a child that he did not biologically father, and who he met only once. In 2003, a child support court in Texas ruled that Gabriel Cornejo, 45, and I'm sure I'm butchering his last name, forgive me if I am, 45, had to pay child support to his ex-girlfriend who had recently given birth because she vowed, she vowed that there was no way he wasn't the rightful dad. Wow. Cornejo, who is currently raising 3 children of his own and 2 nephews, claimed that he was not made aware of this and only found out about the child support payments last year when a deputy served him court papers claiming that the state of Texas lists him as having another child. He soon met the minor for the first and only time, describing her as a wonderful girl, but after taking a DNA test, learned she was not his after all. Only Cornejo's ex-girlfriend and the state will want the $65,000 in back payments. Wow. Even though it's been proven that, hey, he is not the father. Then this is what I'm talking about, guys, okay? It's like, you have these women who want, they're just strong and independent. They want equality and equal rights and all this, but, they're not. See, they want all the accoutrements of equality, but they don't want the responsibility that goes with it, okay? Because despite, all of their, all the gains and the things that you know, through the feminist movement, they have been able to accomplish. You know, they're still a protected class, right? Okay, because this woman who obviously, you know, was fucking around on this man, okay, and ended up getting knocked up, she's not being held accountable for that, right? So they're forcing this man who, you know, I mean, you know, he's taking care of his children that he fathered, and plus, he's taking on the responsibility of 2 nephews. Okay, so I'm sure his pockets are, you know, at the end of the month is quite empty. I mean, he's got quite a bit on his shoulders, but the government still wants to try to stick their hands in this man's pocket. Unfucking believable. And again, I have to ask, why, as men, do we allow this? Why do we let them get away with this? You know, I'm dumbfounded that this would be allowed. And okay, let me further read this. Okay, so this is what he's up against. So he says his response was, "I never thought in my whole life I would have to defend myself of something that I am innocent of," he said. Texas Family Code, Chapter 161, states that even if one is not the biological father, they still owe support payments that accrued before the paternity test proves otherwise. That's complete and utter bullshit. Okay, once it's been established that you know, the defendant is not the father, okay, he owes nothing. He is not obligated at all, period. That's the way it should be, right? Okay. So let me read that again. Texas Family Code, Chapter 161, states that even if one is not the biological father, they owe child support payments that accrued before the paternity test proves otherwise. Oh my fucking God. In Cornejo's case, that amounts to some $65,000. Like he doesn't owe anything. That man shouldn't owe a dime. Okay, and then the mother, okay, this skank, this whore, okay, is pursuing the action against this innocent man. Okay, and ladies, you wonder why men are beginning to they're just, you know, women across the board, you know, it doesn't black or white. We're just done with you. Okay, you guys are a liability. There's just, oh my God, I'm blown away. His ex-girlfriend's attorney, Carell Smith, claimed that money was taken out of Cornejo's paycheck several years ago, and he didn't contest it, and that in itself can satisfy a court argument that he should have handled the matter long ago. I don't care how long, be it 10, 20, 30, once 30 years, once it's been established that this person is not the father, he owes nothing. He's not obligated. That's between the mother and the state. Okay? And if the state wants to go after someone, for the repayment, then, they need to put some pressure on the mother to figure out who she's been opening her legs for, and track down the man who is responsible. And real talk, I believe that the whole system just needs to be dismantled. Okay, I believe that there should be a safety net of some kind, but that's limited to one child. Okay, and if the if the mother gets knocked up by a man and she's not married, and she can't name the she can't name the father, or refuses to name the father, or doesn't know who the father is, that's an L she's going to have to take. That's pretty much on her. And the state will offer her benefits for maybe a 5-year period, and she needs to get on her feet until then, because the gravy train is going to run out at some point. It boggles my mind that you cannot force a woman to be a mother. You can't force her to have a child. You cannot force her to You can't force her to be a parent, right? And at any point of the time, at any point, if she decides, okay, let's say she's pregnant, whatever, and she has the baby, and even then, she doesn't have to take responsibility for that child. She can, she can go to the state for, she doesn't have to work, or she can go to Big Daddy government. And if the child just turns out to be too much of a handful, she can, take that baby and drop it off at your nearest police station or fire station and just walk away. The state will not go after her. The state will not charge her with abandonment or go after her for child support. Okay, she can walk away from her responsibility. But a man can't do that, right? Even the man who's not the biological father is forced to take on the responsibility or the irresponsibility of a woman that he was probably once involved with. This has got to change, people. Okay, because how long are men going to put up with this before they just start doing crazy shit like they start doing some off the wall postal shit. You know what I mean? Okay, you're going to try to rob this man of his wealth, of his hard-earned money that he needs to provide for his children. Okay, his genetic offspring, plus his nephews. And I'm sure the women, if they're his nephews, I'm sure the women in his family, probably are on some dumb shit, and they couldn't take care of their children, so he, being this patriarchal stand-up guy, is taking on the responsibility of two other children that are not his. You're forcing this man to be a cuck. Fuck this, man. Fuck that. Anyway, let me finish this. Wow, there can be consequences even if you don't do anything. Sith told local news. Cornejo and his attorney, Cheryl Coleman, must now persuade a judge to reopen the case as the original court order cannot be amended. Wow. If that doesn't happen, he must pay or face time behind bars. The case is due back in court next month. People, as American citizens, you have the right to disobey or not give deference to any unjust or bullshit law. And that's some bullshit. Fuck that judge and fuck that law. Straight up. Fuck the judge who signed off on this order. Okay, fuck the legislators who came up with a rule or whatever they call it, a rule or code or Texas Family Code Chapter 161. Okay. Wow. You know what? If man, this guy, I feel for him. I absolutely feel bad for him. Now, hold on. It gets worse, everyone. Let's go to the next story here. Now, this is in Colorado. Okay, I'm gonna play the video.
Continue to collect child support from a guy that isn't the DNA father?
No, not really. He wants to be a jerk to me, I can be a jerk right back.
A Colorado man
So hold on, let me spin that back. I want you to hear what this lady said. Okay, let's repeat that. Okay?
Laura, do you feel at all guilty today that you continue to collect child support from a guy that isn't the DNA father?
No, not really. He wants to be a jerk to me, I can be a jerk right back.
A Colorado man forced to pay child support for a kid that isn't his. The DNA test that doesn't matter under state law. Thanks for staying with us tonight. I'm Jeremy Hubbard.
And I'm Sarah Brady. Tonight, Fox 31 Denver problem solver Rob Lowe looks at a child custody case that seems to defy common sense. So, Rob, the big question, how can the courts force a man to pay child support if both sides agree he's not the biological father?
Because his name is on the birth certificate, and in Colorado, what's on the birth certificate matters more than what a DNA test later reveals, matters more than what the ex-wife acknowledges, or even the fact that the real biological father exists and visits the kid.
Dustin, you are the vowed.
Lori Povich has made a career out of revealing DNA test results, but sometimes whose DNA fathered a child doesn't matter in the eyes of the law.
And when Lori told me she was pregnant, we were dating not very long. I tried to do the right thing.
The right thing, to Chris Atkins back in 2000, was to marry Lori Longquist, and when their daughter was born, it's his name, Chris Allen Atkins, that went on the birth certificate. By the time their daughter was 2.5, the couple divorced.
We had a lot of fun together. My little bug.
Chris still enjoyed visitation, but when the girl turned 11, he says Lori wanted to change the girl's last name because Lori was getting remarried. He refused, it got heated, and he says Lori told him their daughter wasn't really his anyway.
So, alarms went off and we had a DNA test done.
You
And she's
fucking
not my
cunt.
biological daughter that I raised for 11 years.
This is the DNA test that proves Chris does not share genetic markers with the girl. And this is the judge who refused to accept the test as evidence. You might recognize Carlos Samore Jr. from the Aurora Theater shooting case. Chris Atkins tried to represent himself at court, which never works out well since most lay people don't know the rules for introducing evidence. When he finally came back to court with an attorney to file an appeal, his appeal was denied. The judge basically said, you already had your bite at the apple.
I just want my daughter, but I can't even see her. But yet I'm still paying child support. And the biological father has been found. And he needs to spend time with her. I don't get nothing.
Chris Atkins hasn't
my
seen his daughter
God!
because she says courts refuse to enforce visitation, but they do enforce child support, deducting $250 out of every paycheck plus $114 for her health insurance, for a total of $730 every month.
Fuck
And greedy of you to continue
you.
to collect child support from him when he's not the biological father and he has no role in her life.
Maybe, but I don't feel bad about it.
You
I
fucking
really don't.
Lori
cunt.
Longquist says Chris abandoned their daughter when he found out the girl wasn't his biologically. Chris denies that, saying Lori would no longer facilitate visits.
I asked him to give up his parental rights, and he won't do it because everything he wants to do is piss me off and upset me. That's it.
If he
You
gave up his parental
selfish,
rights, would you stop collecting the child support?
self-centered
Absolutely. And I've told him
cunt.
that.
She'll stop taking child support if he agrees to terminate his parental rights. Is that easy enough for him to do?
No. It's very rare that a court will ever allow someone to terminate their parental rights.
Ron Litvak is a family law attorney who says what Lori proposes, no court would accept, unless,
Somebody else is going to step into that role, the court's not usually going to do that.
meaning a new name on the birth certificate and someone willing to pay the child support.
So it's a three-ring circus. There's got to be someone willing to step in. She's got to be willing to have that person step in. And then, of course, the guy who's been designated the father on the birth certificate has to be willing to step out.
Meet Logan Doolin, the third ring in our circus, the real DNA dad, who since learning he had a daughter 4 years ago, visits her about once a month, but doesn't pay a dime in child support. Logan declined to sit down and interview with us, but when I met him, he made it clear he has no intention of paying child support. Logan told me he doesn't think it's fair Chris has to pay child support, but said, quote, on the flip side, if I would have to pay child support, that would be messed up too. Child custody from the biological father.
Because he has his own family. He has his own life.
But isn't it his responsibility to provide child support for your daughter?
I don't think that's fair to come on to somebody when they didn't know for 14 years or 11 years that they didn't have a kid and say, hey, by the way, you're going to pay child support for a kid that you didn't know was yours.
But it's fair to make
Can you believe that? Can you believe this? That the intellectual dishonesty. Dude, okay, shit. This is coming from a woman who lied to the man to begin with, made him believe that it was his child.
And then she's gonna let the Bible.
And also, because she has some moral qualm about after 14 years. Oh my God, wow.
You know, woman, it comes all down to you. I mean,
Can't-
you're the one that lied.
Jesus, oh my God, are you
Now
serious?
it comes down to
And
her.
pay
And
child
it's like,
support
yeah,
for a kid that we-
pants off of her, and the guy who thought he was the father should get custody and make her pay him.
And you know what? And if this guy snapped And he just walked into one of these buildings and started like just bodying motherfuckers, right? Just shooting everybody, and then off himself. They'd be asking, why did he do it? Oh, well, why would he do such to all the poor victims? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how, what is this? I would think this is a. If I didn't see this with my own eyes and you were telling me, I just wouldn't believe it. This is insane.
Yes, because his name is on the birth certificate.
Hold on, let's spin this back.
That is the law, or 11 years that they didn't have a kid and say, hey, he has his own family. He has his own life.
But isn't it his responsibility to provide child support for your daughter?
I don't think that's fair to come on to somebody when they didn't know for 14 years or 11 years that they didn't have a kid and say, hey, by the way, you're going to pay child support for a kid that you didn't know was yours.
But it's fair to make him pay child support for a kid that we know isn't his?
Yes, because his name is on the birth certificate. That is the law.
Oh,
The law has left Chris Atkins bitter. He says give him visitation with a girl he still considers his daughter in his heart, or let him walk away without paying child support. But Atkins says he has the worst of both worlds.
You know, we went to court and I said, I'm not seeing my daughter, but I'm still paying. He says, well, what do you want me to do, arrest her? I said, yes, sir, I had to do, something. He said, it's out of my hands.
Are you the one taking advantage by continuing to collect child support, knowing he's not the true biological father?
Maybe so, but that's also not on me. My kid doesn't want to see him. She wants nothing to do with him.
Sounds like you're having a kid eating it too.
Probably.
Chris Atkins recently asked for his child support to be lowered since he says he makes just 60% of what he made years ago when the child support was first established. But Arapahoe County denied his request a few weeks ago. Rob Lowe, Fox 31 Denver.
What a mess, Rob. Thank you.
Wow.
Can't help but think about that little girl.
Yeah, she's the one that's really losing out on all this. Coming up.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's in Denver. I have another one here out of another state, but that'll be another video for that. But yeah, I found that one. That one was out of Colorado. The other one was out of Texas. Again, wow. This has to change. This has to change. Men start. Take your balls out of that woman's purse and start asserting yourselves here, okay? Why are you putting up with this shit? All right, Hood Monk, and I'm out.